evening, Leroy. Welcome to From the Pressbox.
Hello, my friend. How are you? Good to see you again. I want to start off our podcast by apologizing to you.
I was gonna say you got some splaining to do.
I normally give you a whole lot more notice than what if I can't make it to an event. And around 5 o'clock, I started having some really bad issues and ended up in the emergency room where I spent I was there till about 8:45, which I know what you're saying. Hey, that's before 9 o'clock. I could have made it. And boy, I tell you what, though, I was in no condition. They put me on some medicine. Boy, when they put you on some sleep medicine, they put you on some sleep medicine. Let me tell you, because
Personally, I think that would have been better. You
would have been better
on something just to see what happened. So what's funny is you messaged me at maybe like 8:20, give or take. And I didn't see it. But for one, I'm also not looking. And if I would have seen a message come through with you, I would have thought it would have been like, hey, let's make sure we talk about whatever it is tonight.
Yep.
And so, but at like 8:50, because Mick and I were talking, and I remember what we were talking about. Because we're going on the trip to Charlotte. So we probably were planning that or whatever it might have been, talking about that. And at like 8:50, I looked down. I was like, oh, I have a message from Leroy, expecting it to be like, hey, let's make sure we talk about this.
Yep.
No show. And I was like, and I told Mick, I said, no show. He says, you want me to do it? I was like, so we considered, I was like, should we? And I was like, no, I don't know that Leroy would approve. So Mick was going to fill in for you. But the worst part was we were going to do Leroy's logos, but I was like, but Mick, you already saw the logos. So it defeats the entire purpose of doing
it. Would have been America's logos.
Yeah, or something like that. But I'm glad you're not dead, because I don't know who would have hosted the show.
It was a little scary. And then, of course, I don't know if we're going to have a show next week, as I am having surgery on Friday for my shoulder. My hope is that I will be in somewhat of a condition that I'll be able to do the show next Wednesday, but that show is kind of up for.
Can we just plan, now that I don't have a football game on Friday, which we'll talk about that a little bit later on?
Yeah.
Can we just do a show like at about 11:30 Friday when you're when you're just full pain med Leroy?
Full pain med Leroy. We're gonna do one. We should do one anyway. Next Wednesday, we should do one anyway, regardless of whatever medicine I'm on, because I'll still be on some pretty good.
Oh yeah,
pretty good.
Listen, the people. That's what the people want.
That's what the people want.
Is
we gotta make it happen.
You listen. You get one show a year. You took your call off. You called off.
That was it. That was the one show. I'm not allowed to do it
I remember there was one show last year that I worked like 135 hours that week, and I think I literally told you I can't do it in me. Morphine drip. We want to see the morphine like in your arm that day. That's what the people want.
I cannot disappoint the people.
America.
I have to give the people what they want.
Speaking of that, we can recap the pick contest from, I guess this is now 2 weeks ago. Back on September the 11th was that show. And tell you what, Christy, we don't need pictures. We need, and Jalen, it's weird. My comment machine won't put your comment on the screen. It's wild. All of these other ones work, but it just won't work for that. It's wild that it works that way, that his comment just doesn't work and gets put on the screen. But 2 weeks ago, our pick contest, Leroy, I got to pat myself on the back. 9 out of 10.
You finally won.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. My lone miss was because the Taylorville Tornadoes can't beat Columbia. I almost had a perfect score for you. But you correctly predicted Grayson County to beat Butler County. You got 7 out of 10, as did America. Yes, you did get 7 out of 10, Leroy. You pick the Bears to beat. Yeah, see, like, look at this one. This comment works. It's wild that it works that way. You picked the Bears to beat the Texans. That didn't happen. You picked South Carolina to beat LSU. Almost happened. And you picked the Titans to beat the Jets. Again, it's wild that comment won't work on the screen there either. It's amazing how I mean, Leroy, you see me here.
You're pressing that button.
I'm clicking and it
doesn't.
Like, look this one here. I mean, it works. It works here. Dub Bears and all of that. But one more pick contest for this week, where Leroy, I will pick Taylorville against Muhammad Seymour, right?
Against the Bulldogs, yep.
And then you will pick Grayson County and Bullitt Central. That will be happening tomorrow. So that'll be exciting to have.
So I want to touch on Taylorville. I know we didn't get the chance to talk about it because we didn't have, but I want to talk about Taylorville versus Mount Zion. But I understand that you have had kind of an interesting football situation, and I really want to hear why your team is moving their game.
Oh, because it's so Hurricane Helene, is that what
Helene?
it is? Helene is coming through, and it's about to hit Florida in Florida, I think, like tomorrow. It is. That's pretty close, Paul. It's Mahomet Seymour, isn't it?
I'm spelling
Mahomet.
it right now.
Yeah, Mahomet. I think is how you spell it. Mahomet Seymour. I think you even spelled it wrong. Isn't it an A?
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't care.
But it's close enough with that. Paul says Hurricane's about to blow away his sister's house. Yes, it's coming. Category 4. Seriously, stay safe, everyone out there. But with that, the remnants are coming and hitting our area, and it is like 4 to 5 inches of rain is scheduled on Friday evening here. And I was thinking like that would be a fun game to call, but my goodness, would that be a nightmare? Jalen says too, we have our state broadcasting conference on Monday. Jalen has been nominated for Rookie of the Year for KBA, and we've been nominated for 3 awards. So we Talk Show of the Year, Best Use of Video, and Best Digital Product.
Paul, I hope your power goes up before we talk about the Bears.
He's only been messaging me like 94 times. For some reason, he's got opinions on Caleb Williams. I know this is new, Leroy.
Crazy.
Should we just get it out of the way and talk about NFL sucks?
Yeah, hold on.
I hate the NFL. I hate football. It's not fun, Leroy.
Give me a second because I really want to touch on this whole Mount Zion Taylorville game. So really quick, I know we want to get to the NFL. We want to talk about how horrible our teams are. Taylorville Tornadoes played Mount Zion. Mount Zion has absolutely killed Taylorville in the 5 years that I've been in Taylorville. Games have not been close. Mount Zion absolutely has crushed them. Mount Zion was playing their first home game of the season last Friday against Taylorville. So we were expecting it to be an absolute just, we show up, we leave. Taylorville scored on the opening drive thanks to an interception. So they lead 6-0. And it was little tiny 5-yard, 6-yard slant plays that worked, just wore down the defense, drove down the field, and scored. And I immediately noticed, it's funny, like when you've been doing this, and Sam, you've been doing it for a while, when you play against a good team and you realize that team may be not as good as they had been in years past, you notice it almost right away. And we noticed that the quarterback for Mount Zion just really wasn't that good. And we thought, hey, do we have a chance here? So it's 6-0. Mount Zion scores on a punt return for a touchdown to make it 7-6. Mind you, I say 7-6. When we went to kick the extra point, the kick went to the back of the center's head. The kick for the extra point went into the back of the center's head.
The long snapper did? How the hell did he do that?
It just didn't have any lift. The extra point.
I thought you said the snap did. I was like, physically, how in the hell did he do that?
The extra point went to the back of the center's head.
Okay. Now I was sitting here. I thought you said his snap did, and I was like, how the hell? Like, did he? Like, that would be impressive, honestly.
So it's 7-6. Now Zion then takes the lead on a 14-6, another touchdown that was an absolute beaut. One of those that you just kind of tip your cap and go, all right, that was pretty awesome. So it's 14-6. Taylorville then scores on a 45-yard touchdown pass that was better than Caleb Williams. There you go, Paul, as it landed right in the breadbasket for our wide receiver.
To the right team?
So, yeah.
Oh, so it is better than Caleb Williams.
So 14-12. And so we go for the 2-point conversion, and the fumble, the snap is botched, and we end up losing 14-12.
Oof.
I say all that to say, in the 5 years that I've been in Taylorville, and Tim, my color commentator, was like, "Boy, Leroy, they're lucky we don't have a podcast. If we had a podcast, I'd absolutely rip a new one." Well, guess what? I do have a podcast, and in 5 years that I've been doing this, the Taylorville has never had a kicker. Mount Zion was putting 35, 40-yard field goals with ease.
Grayson as a kicker. It's pretty
And
cool.
it's so frustrating because, listen, if we lose in overtime against Mount Zion, fine. But at least give us that opportunity. When you don't, and I hate how much teams underestimate having a good kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Having a good kicker is so, so important. And Taylorville lost the game because they didn't have one.
Grayson County has had 4 straight games decided by 1 possession for the first time since 1986.
And Taylorville has lost all their games. They're 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
All 3 games have been lost by less than a touchdown.
Yep. Grayson County, they won their first game 35-0. The last 4 have all been decided by 7 points or less.
It's absolutely maddening. You know what else is maddening? The NFL.
So, I mean, we don't need to talk
I hear
about
you
the
guys have
Bengals.
had a slow start.
Yeah. How about we talk about Caleb Williams instead?
Nope.
That's, I think, what the people want. Listen, we'll take a vote in the comments section.
Oh, we're not taking a vote in the comments.
In fact, let's just pick a random commenter. How about Paul Reeves? Paul, would you like to talk about Caleb Williams right now? In all seriousness, 3 games in to the Caleb Williams era in Chicago, has your opinion or confidence changed? Like, let's take
about the team or about Caleb?
Caleb Williams.
Listen, I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, and I'm fully embracing and I'm fully ready to get a lot of heat. I've been pleasantly surprised with what I've seen from Caleb. Honestly, every game that he's played in has gotten better, and he hasn't made the same mistakes that he's made in previous games. Why? That's the absolute fact. I don't even know why I'm discussing this with you. You're not here. Caleb Williams in that game against the Colts. And listen, this goes to show you how futile Bears quarterbacks have been historically. Bears quarterbacks have been awful because Caleb Williams in that game moved to number 18 all time for passing yards in the game for a Bears quarterback. Justin Fields only had 1 game where he threw for more than 300 yards. And that was against the Broncos in a game that they lost. That's it.
No.
Justin Fields never had more than that.
I
Caleb
will say,
already set the rookie record for passing yards. Sure, some of it was in garbage, absolutely. But other than the 1 interception that was absolutely his fault, the other one was a 50-50. And you know what? That fumble, absolutely. You gotta know what's coming on that near side. I've been much more upset with coaching and the idiotic decisions that have been made on the sidelines than I have about anything that the Bears are doing on the field, honestly. I don't understand how you watch the Packers run all day long against the Colts, when the Colts gift wrap you a game, and the Bears look at that tape and go, you know what, let's throw it 56 times or 53 times. I don't know how you look at a game and say, you know what, our rookie quarterback can just air it out. That's fine. The Bears offense does not have an identity. They don't know what they want to do. And while it may not be a problem.
Can I make a suggestion?
You can.
We just start giving DJ Moore touchdowns, because he's been pissing me off these last couple of games because he's not giving me enough fantasy points. And week 2, I'm close. I'm right there. The Bears are driving down because I think they were still in the game against the Texans. DJ Moore runs like a far sideline. He runs a curl. He's wide open. Caleb Williams hits that pass.
That throw wasn't close.
I know. Caleb Williams hits that pass, and I'm 3-0 in fantasy. But no, he turns into freaking Leroy Clamola with a bad shoulder out there for that throw. That's all I have to say about Caleb Williams. I was just very frustrated because I would be 3-0 in fantasy.
In 12 quarters, he's gotten better. And Paul, he could throw for 500 yards, throw 7 touchdowns, and you'd still hate him. So I take what you're saying. You can piss off because I take what you're saying as absolute garbage. So
but he wasn't the worst quarterback in that game because Anthony Richardson is not good.
And listen, there are some quarterbacks that Caleb's already better than. And the point that I was trying to make to somebody else is, the issues are that everyone keeps comparing him to Justin Fields, which is stupid. Justin Fields is a running quarterback. Justin Fields. No, you don't. Justin Fields has been in the league for 4 years. If Justin Williams' ceiling is Caleb Williams' floor, then guess what? We're all right because they're both playing the exact same right now. The only reason the Steelers are that record is because of their defense.
And Paul's right here too. Bears off the line is trash. It's trash.
Yes.
It's trash.
But make sure you blame Caleb for that, please. Make sure you blame Caleb for the Bears O-line. Make sure you blame Caleb for the two challenges that Eberflus threw when it was
there was one
clear.
Yeah, there was one because I watched.
He threw two of them, Sam.
I'm saying one of them I was red zoning because I got to do red zone throughout the day. That's the one pro to when your team doesn't play on Sunday that you get to do do red zone, and that's kind of fun to be able to sit there and just watch football that way.
You know, and what the heck was that option that they did on a 4th and 1? It made absolutely.
Did they run a pitch?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching at that point. Mm-hmm.
Where the offensive line just fell over. And DeAndre Swift has been a disaster for the Bears. He's been awful. He's hasn't done anything. Keenan Allen hasn't yet to play a snap. So it's very frustrating. And again, I wish there was a way that we could hire an offensive-minded head coach and just move Eberflus over to defense. Because our defense has been fantastic. But I'm telling you,
how about maybe the offensive coordinator from the defending Super Bowl champions? What's his name again? Nagy? Is that right? Or what about maybe we should hire a guy from the CFL? Offensive genius, right?
Yeah. Now they're gonna go get Bill Belichick. I don't care. You go call Bill. You write him a blank check, and you say, you know what? I've got a all-star quarterback for you. Come on in.
Because he'll fix the defense. He'll fix the offense for sure because he's not a defensive-minded guy. But sadly, we don't have enough time to talk about the Bengals, so we can just hop into our next topic.
Why are the Bengals as bad as they are?
I mean, listen, Leroy, timing. Look at the timing
I don't really
out.
care. I had to get bashed about Caleb Williams. Guess what? Your Bengals still yet to win a game. At least we won a game.
Because Will Levis sucks. Which hurts me to say it.
Not my problem.
I mean, I told you that the Bengals defense was the biggest question. The Bengals defense was the biggest question. And the Bengals defensively on Monday were atrocious. Against the pass especially. Atrocious. But, and I'm not I'm more just stating this as a fact. I don't believe necessarily in excuses with that because there's plenty of reasons why. But their defensive line is so beat up right now. I mean, they're literally they had to sign a guy off the streets who played 30 snaps on Monday because they literally have nobody else. I mean, I think they have 5 or 6 guys on either IR or are injured for the defensive line.
We had a tryout for offensive linemen, if that tells you anything of what we got going on in Chicago.
So it is because of that, the injuries are just mounting up. And now, on Sunday, you take on Andy Dalton and the Panthers. And if they don't win, then it's not going to be a fun time because you got Lamar and the Ravens after that. But I mean, we didn't talk about the Chiefs game, which I don't know if you watched that. What a great football game. I mean, it was Paul.
Was that Chiefs-Bengals game, was that pass interference?
Probably. But it's just, to me, like I said on our morning radio show the day after, I said, it's just funny to me that they get that call every single time. It was pass interference. But as somebody made the good point, I saw a Bengals fan say, if the roles were reversed, and it was a defensive,
and it was call it against the Falcons.
Well, they said exactly
when he took out Pitts.
Yeah. But if the rules were reversed in that play, and it was the Bengals defensive player and the offensive player came from behind, would they have called it offensive pass interference?
Good point.
And that's and I don't know the answer to that question, but then kind of to follow it up further is, should that matter? And I don't know. That's more, I guess, a hypothetical question. But I mean, I think that the Bengals defense is really struggling right now, but the offense has been incredible. I mean, like, if you're looking at some of the offensive analytics stats, Bengals are a top 5 offense, and that's coming after week 1 where they played like garbage. But the last couple of weeks, they've been good. I mean, hell, they scored on every drive that they had the ball on Monday.
And I complained to you a little bit about this earlier this week, but I muted all of the Bears fan pages because I'm so tired of just reading the
Misery.
We don't focus on anything about the positive. We only focus on the negative on everything. And my biggest frustration, I know it's not all the case, but there are so many Bears fans that are like almost rooting for Caleb to fail. And it's so frustrating because you shouldn't want your own players to fail.
Well, I mean,
you shouldn't want your head coach to fail.
There are people who hate Joe Burrow now because he got paid.
No.
Because the philosophy is, well, he should have taken less money to keep
quit.
people around him.
Now he quit because he got paid.
And yet he passed for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns on Monday and played a great game. But still, I don't need to start. I ranted about that an hour and a half ago, Leroy. I don't need to rant about it anymore.
But it was my first. So Caleb and Rome were kind of goofing around. If you saw when Rome caught that quarterback, that touchdown pass, and Rome
okay, now
off.
this is just the stupidest thing. Hey, listen, he is the furthest thing from overrated. He is not. Joe Burrow is not an overrated quarterback.
You're not a Bears fan, though, Paul. I don't expect you to like Caleb. It doesn't matter if you do or not.
And listen, Aaron, I'm not going to disagree that.
Let's talk about this because the media says that he's good. The media was praising this guy. Everyone was saying he was braggy and he was full of himself and he did this and he did that. I have yet to see this man do anything that he's been accused of. He rolled his eyes when CJ Stroud gave him advice. How dare he?
The one thing that I think is hurting Caleb Williams right now is, like, you think back to that preseason game against the Bengals. Again, preseason, and this is not even me taking a shot. It's the preseason game against the Bengals, where it was against the Bengals, like, second and third string guy, and he made a great throw. And immediately you saw people be like, this is Mahomes. And that's not fair to Caleb Williams. Patrick Mahomes is maybe, okay, good, Aaron. I'm glad you're joking about Burrow. I would have been.
I was also very pleasantly pleased with how Jaden Daniels played
listen,
that last week.
And I think Aaron commented it earlier that he thinks Jalen Daniels is the offensive rookie of the year. I agree.
Right now, he keeps that up. Absolutely. 100%.
He's great. There's one quarterback who was way overrated, and that is Dak Prescott. I don't disagree there. And Paul, I'm curious, Dak's your quarterback. How do you feel about Dak? Because I think Dak is looking good, Paul says. I don't know.
I think he's talking about Jaden.
Yes. Okay, we'll see.
I think Paul's talking about Jaden.
Yeah, would you rather have Dak Prescott or Caleb Williams, Paul? Or death? Death is an option as well. Yeah, there you go. He says he's not a Dak fan. Dak or Caleb? Who are you taking?
There you go. There's Sophie's choice right there, man.
The MLB playoffs are inching closer.
Hold on, we can't talk about the MLB playoffs yet. A certain manager was fired, and I want your input on that.
I was getting to that. I was going to go playoffs, and then we were going to talk about, because I was going to mention to you.
Go ahead,
Paul does say death. Cubs are officially.
You've been skipping over the negatives. I wanted to make sure you touched on it.
Cubs are officially out, right?
As are you.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. Reds have been out for, I think,
I will
4.5 months.
I do have a thing for this on the playoffs. See, ESPN has released their full regular season grades for our teams, for all 30 teams that ESPN has released. Who would you have as the best team of the regular season from this year?
What, they can say Guardians?
The Guardians were second.
Okay. Phillies?
Phillies were fourth.
Who are they saying then?
The Brewers. They have the Brewers as having the best regular season.
Brewers did lose their manager to a rival who is supposed to take them into the promised land.
6 games.
And did he make the playoffs? I don't think he did. just like, the Reds, Leroy. The Reds they're going to win the World Series next year because David Dumbbell is gone, as fans gave him.
They're going to bring in Barry Larkin, right?
Oh, God, Leroy, if they hire Barry Larkin.
I also need to give an update. The Chicago White Sox are trying to avoid losing their 121st game. They're playing the Angels right now. The Angels scored in the 8th inning to tie up a 3-3 game. They are now in the 10th. It's
I heard yesterday that I think it was like one of their highest attendance of the year because people want to be there, and I think they were like booing when they won. It's like, no, what are you doing? Because I think
that's absolute fact.
I agree with what we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, where you said that you wouldn't want if it was the Cubs in this realm, you would not want them to have that record,
right?
But I feel like, and I was talking to a White Sox fan that I know, and he said absolutely. He says, like, let's just lose. Like, let's just see how wild it can go.
Jacob, who's been on our show before and is a big diehard White Sox fan, wanted them to lose. I talked to him a week ago. He wanted them to lose the rest of the way out. He goes, if we're going to obliterate this, we're going to obliterate this whole thing. So,
okay, Paul, that might be a little bit of a stretch here.
No, but he doesn't have any bias. Shut up. I don't have any bias. I just don't like him.
It comes down. You've got Mets, Diamondbacks, Braves in the AL are fighting for those last spots. Mets are right now half a game up on the Diamondbacks, who are half a game up on the Braves. What two teams make it, Leroy?
Unfortunately, the Mets are going to make it, and so will the Braves.
You're going against your Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks have been awful lately. They have not been playing well.
Yeah, lost their last 3. I'm going to say they sneak in the Mets get in as well. Paul says he hopes that they don't make it. As far as the AL wild card goes,
Tigers, baby!
Technically, the Twins and Mariners are still in it, but you've got the Royals and the Tigers.
Tigers, baby!
And the Tigers are playing really well right now.
Ironically, right after Javi Baez gets sent down, the Tigers start winning.
So you've got right now, if the playoffs started today, you would have Brewers, Diamondbacks, Padres, Mets, Tigers, Astros, Royals, Orioles.
Yeah.
And then the Yankees are the 1, Dodgers are the 1.
Angels did not score in the top of the 10th, so now the White Sox are coming up.
They're going to do it. They're going to win the game. They're going to start winning. They're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to win the World Series.
The issue with that, Paul, is that you could make arguments about all 3 of those teams, the Diamondbacks, the Mets, and the Braves, as far as going on significant, as dealing with either significant injuries or significant losing streaks or whatever you want to, because all 3 of them are kind of in the same boat as far as just kind of trailing, like fading down the stretch. But luckily, they had a big enough lead. They've just kind of been killing each other on the because the other teams have been failing down the stretch too. I mean, Cubs lost like 8 out of their last like 12 going down the stretch, and then a couple other teams absolutely just kind of fell apart too. So it really hasn't been a good couple, 2-3 weeks for baseball as a whole. I know the Phillies lost about a week straight of games too.
Yeah, and then the Reds, they fire David Bell on Sunday night. For one, they fire him at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night is when they release it to the media.
Why didn't they wait for the season to finish before they?
So you want to know my philosophy?
I do.
So for one, they say it's so they get a head starting on the manager search.
Okay.
Here it is. You think for one, they do it during Sunday Night Football, and the Bengals were hosting Monday Night Football on Monday night.
So the focus wouldn't be on the Reds.
And the issues that the Reds have, is all the focus is on the NFL and the Bengals. Whereas if they would have waited and done it Sunday after the game, it would have run the storylines no matter what would have happened on Sunday against the Bengals. And you would have had all the people asking the questions about, really, in all seriousness, David Bell is a scapegoat.
Unfortunately, thanks to Marquee and all the BS with streaming, I only watched about 7 Cubs games this year.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. It's just too much of an effort to watch the games, and when they're not playing well, I don't have as much motivation to make said effort.
No.
I'm sure you also want to have an opinion on what's going on at UNLV, because I'm sure you've got opinions.
It was on my tidbits.
I think it's worth a larger topic than just a tidbit, because I just have a feeling you have. I have a feeling you have an opinion on it.
I know how gung ho Sam Gormley feels about this. I bet. Well, it's free market. Let him do what he wants. Blah blah blah.
I mean,
listen, I don't care.
So let's just
somebody's lying. Somebody's lying.
Yes. So what happened if you aren't aware what it was is UNLV's quarterback for the 3-0 UNLV running Rebels. He comes up today and says, I'm hitting the transfer portal. Now listen, they're 3-0 and the favorite to make the playoff at this point.
Redshirting and hitting the transfer portal.
Correct, because if he would have played one more game, he would be out of eligibility and he couldn't be able to redshirt.
Correct.
What he claims is that UNLV promised him $100,000 in NIL deals, and he has not gotten, I think he's gotten like $200 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's barely gotten anything. So he says pretty much, screw you, UNLV. I'm hitting the portal and
you haven't paid me. I'm leaving.
Correct. That's the long story short. Now
the school says
that he was given what? What was it again?
Hold on.
Because they leaked the information through their sources that said that he ended up, getting money.
UNLV said Wednesday in a statement that Sluka's representative made financial demands upon the university and its NIL collective in order to continue playing. And UNLV interpreted these demands as a violation of the NCAA pay-for-play rules as well as Nevada state law. And UNLV does not engage in such activity, blah, blah, blah. Well, hold on. Wait. That doesn't... UNLV said something along the lines of, he got paid what we said he was going to get paid.
And then also further said pretty much that he went into the coach and said, I need more.
Right.
Is the long story short from it.
UNLV said that he basically had come in there. Yeah, what Sam said. He basically came in there and said, this isn't enough. You need to pay me more because we're good.
Yes. And now let's say his side of the story is correct. I don't know that you can blame him.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't know that you can.
I blame the situation. And again, this is not a Matt Sluka issue.
Yeah, it's an NCAA issue.
Really,
it's a Congress issue.
We stick our heads in the sand. We ignore the situation. Now, all of a sudden, we're knee deep in crap. Oh, we've got to do something. It's too late. You've already ruined college sports.
It's just going to be interesting to see what shakes out from this. I'm fascinated at the ripple effects that come from it.
This isn't me hating the player. This is me hating the stupid game. All right? I don't have an issue with these guys wanting to get paid because guess what? They're all getting paid.
And he deserves it.
Right. 100%.
But as I know that they, the radio show I was listening to earlier said is it's like, okay, Leroy, if your boss Randy came to you and said, hey, you're not going to get paid the rest of the year. You've already got paid enough.
I'm going home.
You're going to be like, I'm hitting the portal. Peace.
Juices.
Yeah. And same thing with you, Paul. Like if your work came to you and said, hey, we're not going to pay you for the next 6 months. You've gotten enough this year. You'd probably be like, peace out. Because who knows if this kid's probably not good enough to play in the NFL. This might be his chance to get a bag.
Yeah.
Can't blame him.
The offer to Sluka was verbal and never formalized. There are varying versions of what actually happened. Sources tell ESPN that Sluka approached head coach Odom, that's funny, about the money in recent days and practiced Monday with the Rebels, but then didn't practice on Tuesday. He absolutely went in there and asked for more money, which, again, listen.
Or he asked for his money.
Right. I don't know, Sam. I don't like the direction that this is going.
So Paul, he only got there this year. So he was at Holy Cross. So Holy Cross, I think, is in Connecticut, maybe, or it's in the Northeast, I think. And he transferred to UNLV this year to be their quarterback. And what he's probably said is part of the reason he transferred to UNLV is that he got promised the bag.
I don't have an issue with Sluka. I have an issue with the system because the system is failing these kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is my problem.
Yeah.
There's no, we can talk about loyalty. We can talk about all this stuff till we're blue in the face. At the end of the day, that doesn't really matter. I'm not about, if these kids want to transfer, these kids can transfer. And I understand. I'm not pulling the old fogey card. I know college football, college sports in general has changed since
we were in college.
In the last 10, 15 years. Hell, in the last 5 years, it's changed a lot. I'm fine with that. Although I will say, watching Northwestern play Washington in a Big Ten game felt really weird. I just want you to know that. But we have strayed heavily from what this system was supposed to be. Most people don't know this. Northwestern tried unionizing a long time ago. Kane Coulter was the quarterback for Northwestern and wanted some assurances that if he got injured in the last game of college, that he would get some kind of compensation because he wouldn't be able to use his goals moving forward. The NCAA said, why would I pay you? Go away. And the NCAA said, absolutely not, and put a kibosh on all of the union talk, nothing. Fast forward, and now all of a sudden, guess what? Not only are we getting paid, but I mean, money is flowing. Money is flowing everywhere on this. We've gone from this extreme all the way to and it's going to get worse before it gets better, I think. But I don't necessarily know if the NCAA can.
No, it's
fix
Congress.
This. Nor do I think they want to.
Congress is going to have to fix it.
Correct.
It's going to have to come from government, and we are not getting into that mess.
No. But I have a feeling, Sam, and maybe we should end on this, but I have a feeling that this is going to get worse before it gets better.
What'll happen is in most of these scenarios is it's going to go, and then it's going to hit that point, and that's when it's going to rock its way back, and then it'll be down the straight line. And the question is are we this far from hitting that far right point, or are we this far from hitting that far right point? And I don't think anybody knows the answer to that.
That Jim Harbaugh gets suspended or punished for buying a hamburger for a recruit. But at the same time, everyone else is getting paid millions of dollars to go and new cars for their family and everything just for throwing a football.
Got paid under the table? Really?
I did?
You got money under your table there? That'd be nice. You want to do a little Who Am I here?
I'm looking for it.
Who am I? We're going to bring this back. We haven't done this in a couple of weeks. I've got a couple of clues, and Leroy, the game is simple. You just have to tell me who I am.
Let's do it.
Fair enough. I have played 14 seasons in the NFL for 5 teams. I have played 14 seasons in the NFL for 5 teams. It's taped under there, Leroy. Sounds like Tim was in your office earlier. Maybe he found it. I have
a lot of desks.
I was a 4-year starter in college where I won 42 games. I was a 4-year starter in college where I won 42 games. In 2014, I became the first quarterback to catch a touchdown pass in 8 years. In 2014, I became the first quarterback to catch a touchdown pass in 8 years. Any guesses so far?
Matt Ryan.
No. Joe Flacco. Not a bad guess, but no, incorrect. I was the first rookie quarterback that was not drafted in the first round to start all 16 games of my rookie season. I was the first rookie quarterback not drafted in the first round to start all 16 games of my first year. Who am I? I played the majority of my games with one team and hold multiple franchise quarterback records for that franchise. I've played the majority of my games with one team and hold multiple franchise quarterback records. Who am I?
Kirk Cousins?
No, but not a bad guess. Not a bad guess at all. Not a bad guess, Paul. Kurt Warner, but it is not Kurt Warner. Ready for the final clue?
Mm-hmm.
I will.
Hey, man, what's going on, Jesus?
Hey, what's up, man? I will start against that team this week. I will start against that aforementioned team this week.
Dalton?
Andy Dalton.
Oh, my goodness.
Andy Dalton is this week's Who Am I? Andy Dalton has played 14 seasons in the NFL for 4 teams. He was a 4-year starter at TCU, winning 42 games. So right on cue, the 2 defenders comes in as well. In 2014, I became the first quarterback to catch a touchdown pass in 8 years. I was the first rookie quarterback not drafted in the first round to start all 16 games of my rookie season. Honestly, forgot about that fact point. Played the majority of my games for the Bengals and hold multiple franchise records, and I will start against the Bengals this week.
Very cool.
Andy Dalton.
14 years, man.
For 5 teams. 9 with the Bengals, Cowboys,
Bears for a year,
Saints, and the Panthers. His second year with the Panthers. You got any tidbits for us before we have Leroy's logos?
When we have close-ups.
No. Leroy's logos is... You don't get to steal Leroy's logos as a name. That is still a thing.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about... I'm tired. Leave me alone. All right, tidbits. The New Orleans Saints did not have a single murder, or the city of New Orleans did not have a single murder when the Saints were undefeated. The day after the Saints lost their game, there was a murder in New Orleans. So clearly New Orleans winning is good for the city. The Detroit Tigers have made a huge comeback. They're in the playoff. We already talked about that a little bit. Did Shohei Ohtani have the single greatest baseball game ever? 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, 2 stolen bases, 10 RBIs. In that game, he became the first to join the 50-50 club. Dodgers RBI record in the game. Dodgers single-season home run leader. Missed the cycle because he got thrown out trying for a triple. Helped the Dodgers clinch a playoff spot. Had played most games among active players without a postseason appearance. Since RBI became official in 1920, only White Sox won 4-3. So they still stay tied with the 1960 or 1916
Cleveland Spiders, right?
1962 New York Mets lost 120 games. They were 40 and 120. The Philadelphia Athletics finished with the worst winning percentage, 36 and 117.
And I do agree with what Paul says here too. Is that last home run, wasn't it off a position player?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so.
You can do a little bit of an asterisk with that, but yeah, really good game regardless.
The National University or U.S. News released the National University rankings, and Reddit College Football put together the college football playoff of the top-ranked universities in.
Let me guess. Is Northwestern the 1 seed?
They aren't. They are number 3. Can you name who the number 1 seed is?
Rice?
Number 6.
UCLA?
UCLA is number 4.
Stanford
is number 1.
Okay. I was going to get that at some point.
Stanford is number 1. Number 2 is Duke. Number 3 is Northwestern. Number 4 is UCLA. Number 5 is Cal. Number 6 is Rice. Number 7 is
Western Kentucky.
Oh, Notre Dame. Number 8 is Buffalo.
Interesting.
Number 9 is Michigan. Number 10 is Virginia. And number 11 is a tie between North Carolina and USC.
Interesting.
Play the WNBA music.
Oh.
A sad moment today. UConn blew an 11-point lead, but managed to hang on to eliminate the Indiana Fever, who are out of the playoffs. Caitlin Clark's first season is done, which presumably means that the WNBA is also done, because let's face it, that's the only reason anybody was watching. I'm just kidding. They the UConn survived 87-81. In other matchups this evening, the Phoenix Mercury will be playing the Minnesota Lynx. Actually, that game already started, but I don't have an update on the score for that because I just don't care. That is your WNBA update for today.
Wow, Leroy just doesn't care. My goodness.
NHL preseason started this week. I'm sure Sam Gormley is super excited about that. Can I get a go Columbus?
Rick Nash, he's back. He is. He's like the president of hockey operations or something.
Speaking of the White Sox, Steve Stone tweeted this evening. Actually, no, he tweeted this afternoon. Excuse me. He said, this historic season is coming to an end. There's a great deal of work to be done this offseason. As most of you know, I am an employee of the White Sox. I'm also a fan of our Sox. I want to come back, and we're working on the details. I want to be here when we're good again. Rowdy Tellez. Let's talk about Rowdy Tellez, because I wanted your opinion on this one as well. For those who don't know, Rowdy Tellez had 271 at-bats for the Pirates. He needed 275 at-bats to receive a $200,000 bonus to his paycheck. The Pittsburgh Pirates, and listen, Tellez was a little above average bat. He wasn't great. He was an above average bat. He got DFA'd for the Pirates 4 at-bats before the bonus would take effect. So I ask you, Sam, is nutting cheap, or is that just business is business?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was not what I asked you.
Yes. I think it's probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, is kind of what I'm saying. Is it probably is a little bit of business, but at the same time, that is some cheap stuff.
It's $200K with 6 games left in the season. Stop it.
They got to afford to pay Paul Skeens at some point.
Paul Skeens is not staying with that team.
I hope not.
I will be.
I hope the Yankees or something, so we see them maybe once a year.
I will wear a Green Bay Packer jersey for a podcast if Paul Skeens stays past his rookie contract.
Paul, you heard it. Can we pick is it a Brett Favre jersey?
Hey, yeah, sad news. Brett Favre announced that he has Parkinson's.
I saw some bad jokes online about that. I was like,
I did too. And I
laughed. I laughed. Did I feel like a horrible human being after laughing?
I did not.
Just a smidge.
I did not.
Just a smidge. Is that all your tidbits?
Ohtani's 50-50 ball is up for auction. Is expected to get quite a bit of money. His 51-51 ball, no one knows where it is. The person that grabbed it took off with it, and the Dodgers apparently did find the guy and offered to buy it from him. And the guy was like, nah, I'm good, and took off with it. It was not, what's his name, the ball hawk dude. He did not get it. It was not him. And some random guy got the ball.
Christy, you just missed Leroy saying how Caitlin Clark isn't very good because she didn't move on in the playoffs.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said.
I thought it was a little harsh, honestly. But Leroy's words, not mine.
Not what I said.
You ready for logos?
Thank goodness we have this videotape, so you can go back and find out that I'm not lying.
He's not going to do that. Time to cue the music for Leroy's logos. AI Fall continues. AI Fall continues. Oh, the entire time. Leroy, what about Helio Ramos? First player to hit a home run right-handed in the Bay. That was cool. I did see that in San Francisco. Leroy, you are now hitting 400.
Pull it up again. I got private up. Pull it up again.
Yeah, I see you private up. That wasn't a very nice message you sent me in private chat.
Cool.
Ramos became the first one to hit one in the Bay. Okay, that's Leroy, awesome. You're now hitting 400. Because these AI logos are a little easier, without question. Okay. 1, 2, 3, or 4 here, Leroy.
2.
Number 2
Wow.
is where Leroy is going to begin.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
2. Number 2 for AI college logos.
What is that?
You got anything that's coming to mind? Remember, you have your one cheat, too, that if you want to use your lifeline at any point today. Number 2.
I'm going with Western Kentucky University, but I really want to know what their vision of a hilltopper is.
Is that your final answer, going with Western Kentucky University?
It looks like a rat. Yes, that's my final answer.
You are correct.
What is that?
That is WKU, or as people like to refer to them as Wetterwicketer Bicker. And then the crew like, well, up top. And apparently our mascot is now an eagle. Go Tops. Go Tops.
That was a rat.
I don't know what it is. 1, 3, or 4? 4. Number 4, says Leroy.
Oh.
These are generated by AI as well.
Well, looks like we're playing the Guess the Tiger again.
Alrighty.
I'm going with my gut. This was immediately when you pulled this up, the first thing I thought it was Auburn. That's what I'm going with.
You're going with Auburn.
Correct, sir.
Auburn. Again, remember that this is AI-generated logos. I have to hit this up for you. And again, this is not Sam-generated. This is AI saying that is the University of Illinois. Illinois.
I'll take my loss on that. That's fantastic.
Illinois.
So we've decided that an Illini is a orange and blue tiger.
Illinois. 1 or 3?
Sure. 1.
Number 1.
Oh my goodness.
Number 1.
You know what that proves, Paul, is colors can only take you so far.
Uh-oh. Aaron's claim has a clip ready.
Yeah, but you couldn't get a clip of the Caitlin Clark stuff? Thanks, Paul.
Mm-hmm. You got a guess here?
Colorado.
Colorado. Final answer.
Yep.
You are correct. That is Colorado. Colorado, says Leroy this week. And your final one for Leroy's logos is this one.
Ooh.
This one. Paul, did you get that one correct, too, of saying Colorado?
I like the orange.
This is one that I feel like is an actual, like, it's a cool AI logo. You know what I mean? Like, this design is pretty cool.
And I told you, I like the Northwestern one, too.
You got a guess on this?
I'll go Florida.
Florida. Is that your... I mean, do you want to use your cheat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is the only comment. So, sorry.
Oh, what the heck?
Oh, wait. We have one more coming in. Paul says Florida, so you're trusting Paul.
Yep. Trusting Paul.
And for once, trusting Paul pays off. That is the Florida Gators. 3 out of 4 this week, Leroy. And again, shout out to your new favorite school.
No one. If you pulled up, if I pulled up 500,000 game day fans, and I was like, "Who is this?"
You can see the eye in there, though.
Well, now. But
and the colors.
Figure out where you got a tiger from the lineup.
Where you? It. I did not make this. I just type into the AI machine new Illinois Fighting Illini logo, and that is what it came out to be. How about some play clock here? Would you like to ask or answer first here?
I will answer first.
Okay. We had this discussion. Stop. What are you doing? Stop. It was moving. We had this discussion during my college game, I guess, whenever that was last time I did it. The NFL is different than college and high school when it comes to measuring the statistic of sack yardage. The NFL, it is a passing yards stat, whereas in college and in high school, it is a rushing yard stat. Which one is correct?
Hold on, Sam. Stop. Do it again. Ask me the question again. It threw me way off. Ask me again. Holy cow.
Sack.
Yep.
You know, when the quarterback has the ball, he gets tackled.
I know what a sack is. Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
In the NFL, that is a stat that goes passing yardage. So if you get lose 10 yards, it is minus 10 to your passing total. Whereas in college, it is a rushing stat.
Oh, okay.
Which is the correct way, or what should be the correct way to do it.
Yeah. Rushing by far. Listen, you're not throwing the ball when you get sacked. You are moving the ball forward. In theory, you would be running with the ball when you get tackled. Now, I know that the tackle for loss is a sack, but let's face it, Paul, it's been a long day, brother, man. I'm telling you, it's been a long. I didn't drive 90 minutes to do a 5-minute picture session today. So if that tells you anything about how my day is gone. But no, listen, they are in the active art of running down the field. Even if they are attempting to throw it, they are in the act of running. So I would say it's a rushing stat all day long.
It was just an interesting discussion that we had. And I was like, I need to write that down and ask Leroy. Okay, I'm ready for yours.
So in high school, in some states, it's completely legal to not snap the ball to the quarterback behind you. Now, obviously, it's the Wildcat, right? We talk about that all the time, okay? But in this case, when the center lined up for the ball, he took the ball, and rather than put it between his legs to go backwards, he lobbed it to the side to the tight end. And the tight end ran it forward for a touchdown. The refs talked about it and discussed it, and they gave him the touchdown. So I ask you, first of all, have you ever seen a play like that? I can show it to you if you want. But is that a legal play in your mind?
No, that's a snap infraction in my eyes. No, the ball's got to go through the legs of the center. Now, if he can snap it to the tight end from his snapping position, then sure. But no, that's an illegal snap.
Yeah, he literally lined up.
I don't even need the 40 seconds for this. No, it's an illegal snap.
He lined up and he took the ball and he went like that under and
that's an illegal snap. That's weird. That's an illegal snap. I had this question for last week, but I wanted to save it just because I was curious in your answer, and it's a food-related question. So last week on the show, because we know you have opinions on the food, and they're usually interesting. Sun chips. Last week, though, was National Cheeseburger Day. Last Wednesday was National Double Cheeseburger or something. I ask you, Leroy, what is the best, what fast food place has your best basic, dollar? It used to be the $1 cheeseburger. You know what I'm talking about? Or now it's like $2 cheeseburger. And what place has the best specialty cheeseburger as far as, let's say, fast food? Like Five Guys up is kicked out. But what are the best answers for both of those?
So the junior bacon cheeseburger from Wendy's, although it's gotten way smaller in the last couple of years, the junior bacon cheeseburger is on my list of favorite regular burgers to get. And Red Robin has really good gourmet.
No, that's too high.
What are you talking about?
Fast food. Fast food for your specialties.
McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese is still my favorite luxury top end top end hamburgers. Yeah.
So you're saying a Wendy's for the cheap, McDonald's
Wendy's
for the higher
bacon
price.
cheeseburger. Yep. And then yeah, Checkers has some really good food, man. Oh, Checkers.
See, I'm not really a fan of rallies, is how I would call it. I'm not really a big rallies guy. See, for me, I'm fine with just the basic McDonald's, and I think I go to Baconator. Wendy's has been doing on their app, buy one, get one free Baconators. Now, when I eat 2 of those, do I feel miserable? Yes, because that's a lot of meat. That's a lot of meat. And and I probably need some cholesterol medication after I'm done with it, but delicious. And also I make sure my pipes are good after that too, because I give them a workout. If you know what I mean.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Aside from social media, what is your favorite app on your phone?
See, I don't really use a bunch of apps on my phone. Like what I do is I'm very much a guy who will play like a game for like 2 or 3 weeks and then I won't play it again. So now I'm looking here. I'm just going to look on my phone here. I guess YouTube counts as social media with that. Gosh, I don't even know. Maybe like the ESPN app or something.
It never works for me, ever.
I guess that would probably be my answer, is the ESPN app. At least looking on this, that would probably be the one that I use the most.
Paul. That is a good point.
Yeah, see, to me, those, like, I think those combined.
Yeah, like Sleeper. I'm on Sleeper like all the time.
See, I did a Sleeper once. I like ESPN.
Like
I like ESPN. I think that they're the kings of that.
I tell you what, I like. Well, I can't ask it now. Maybe I'll ask it next week about order. But I'm not a big Yahoo Fantasy fan. I know everybody likes it, but I prefer ESPN over Yahoo.
I like ESPN just because I'm on the website already, so it's easy to transition into that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm ready for your new logos game.
All right.
And then we'll jump into some picks for this week. Oh, that's easy. I can see it already. I'll let Paul take a couple of seconds, even though, I mean, listen, do I really need to have Paul guess this?
No.
This would be the team that's going to win the NL Central, or no, not going to win the NL Central, has won the NL Central. Yes. That is the Milwaukee Brewers.
Good.
Yeah, another, yep. NFL team, Baker Mayfield, their starting quarterback. Tom Brady led them to a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. This would be the Tampa Bay. Right, Tampa Bay, isn't that what we called it?
Tampa?
The Buccaneers.
I gotta go back to drivers. This is too easy.
Okay, I have a 50-50 chance on this, but I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about this. I think I got to go north of the border, don't I? To the Montreal Expos, right? No. Isn't it the Montreal Canadiens? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good job, Sam.
The Montreal Canadiens. Rest in peace, Expos. Rest in peace, Expos. Rest in peace, Expos.
I always wonder about. I know I'm dating myself on this one, but I always wondered if they would have won it all in 1994 if they would have kept their team.
The Expos?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't lose their team till like 2004.
No, but the strike happened.
Oh, the strike.
And they never really recovered after. I know, Paul. That was way too easy, man. I gotta go back to drivers. At least there I have its fighting chance.
And listen, hey, the AIs are easier enough, anyways. Except when they decide that Illinois is now a Tiger. Again,
That's
Auburn! When it came up with that too, I was like, I know he's not going to get this, but I have to use it just because for one it being Illinois, I know rival of Northwestern.
Absolutely.
Like, and I knew you would at least get a chuckle out of it.
I laughed pretty good. Good.
Time for our pick contest for the week. Again, to update in fact, I didn't update the overall standings when I did the pick contest update. In first place with 22 points is yours truly. In second place with 21 points is Leroy. And in third place is America with 17. America's fallen behind. They got to do some catching up here as well. America, you are picking this week the Grayson County game. Because you picked Taylorville the last time. Grayson County hosts Bullitt. Actually, you know what? Let's have them pick Taylorville because Grayson County's on a bye in 2 weeks. And then that will keep us even. Is that fine with you?
That's fine. That's
okay.
Fine. Yeah.
Because then that will keep it to where Grayson County's on a bye so that they can just pick the Taylorville game that week. And then it's not picking Taylorville like 4 weeks in a row.
Yep.
So Leroy, you will pick the 4-1 Grayson County Cougars taking on the 1-4 Bullitt Central Cougars.
Grayson all day, man.
They, again, the game is moved up 24 hours. So you're taking Grayson County.
Yes, sir.
Grayson.
And I listen, I fully, even though it's not my fault, fully apologize for your game getting moved up. I know how much of a pain in the butt those kind of situations are, my friend.
Yes, especially because I was off on Monday and kind of took a half day on Tuesday. So yeah, it's just it's
I know that. I know that pain. I know that pain.
Especially when I have an interview that I need to edit because it only just now gave me access to it, but that's a conversation for another day. Taylorville hosts Mahomet Seymour. Leroy, what are the records? Paul or America and I pick this game.
Mahomet is well, I think they're 4-0, but hold on a second, let me check. I didn't put anything together on this game because I wasn't doing it. Hold on. Oh, Mahomet's 2-2. Taylorville's 1-3.
God.
I will tell you, I'll tell you. Mahomet lost to Highland 42-41 in double overtime and to Sycamore 21-13. But they beat Charleston 56-3, and Charleston's in our conference.
That doesn't help me at all. You all beat Charleston by a similar amount, though, I think, if my memory's right.
We haven't played Charleston yet this year.
Oh. Well, then what the hell, like, does that help me? Game is at Taylorville, though, correct? Right? Hello?
You froze.
No, you did.
That was you.
Okay, Paul, you got to say who froze because I was good on my end. We'll see which side. Okay.
That was you.
Okay. Paul, break it. Which one of us froze? We'll see. You were on my end. I was on your end. And we'll see who it was. Or Christy, if you want to say which side froze. Because I just asked you, where is the game? And it was funny. But I asked you where, because it's funny.
Always me?
I asked you where.
Always my stuff.
It was funny because I asked you where is the game, and you were frozen like, and I was like, hey Leroy, like where's the game? And I thought you were just not going to tell me that. I was like, listen, that's not like it's helping. So it is in Taylorville, correct?
It's in Taylorville, yes. It's in Taylorville.
I'll take the Tornadoes. America, aka Paul Reeves, is going with Mahomet Seymour. I'm probably going to regret that. Okay, we now jump into the other games of the week. Leroy, Kentucky travels to Ole Miss for a 11 a.m. game against the Rebels of Ole Miss. Leroy, who you got?
Kentucky.
Upset.
Yep.
I'm agreeing with what Paul says. I'm taking Ole Miss in this game. Northwestern off this week, correct?
Thank God. Can't lose on a bye week. Woo!
Western Kentucky, I will pick first on this one, travels to Boston College to take on the Eagles and their head coach, Bill O'Brien, and I will take Boston College.
Hey. That's good.
Who do you got?
I'll take BC.
Leroy takes Boston College. America.
That is true, Paul. Good Lord, that is true. Oh, my goodness.
Andy Dalton got benched on his birthday a couple of years ago, which is pretty much the same thing. Paul takes Boston College as well. Leroy, the Cincinnati Bengals travel to Carolina in the Andy Dalton Bowl to take on the Panthers. Who wins?
Andy Dalton torches you all. Carolina picks up a win.
Leroy's taking the Panthers. I am paying quite a bit of money to travel there. So I swear to goodness. As I was walking out of the stadium on Monday, I was, standing next to Mick. It's like, imagine being two guys who are dropping about $500 to go to a game to watch their 0-3 team play. Couldn't be us. I'm going to take the Bengals just because, okay, we do have somebody going with the Panthers. Paul, who do you have? Listen, I'm not going to be ashamed if Paul Carolina. So Panthers is America's pick. God, if they win on a walk-off field goal, Paul, I might just stay in Carolina. The Bears host the Rams.
The Bears
host the Rams on Sunday afternoon. I will pick first and pick the Rams.
I will pick second and say it's good to be home. Bears finally pick up a win.
Bears win says, do I even need to ask Paul?
You already know Paul.
I was going to say, I'm going to just go ahead and put the Rams in here.
Just put the Rams in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there's any shot that no way the Bears are winning, says Paul. Okay. In other shocking news, since I am now in first place in the standings, I get to pick my game of the week first. And you know what? I'm going to go with the big one of the weekend to kick us off, Leroy. Georgia travels to Alabama. Yes, it is Georgia at Alabama.
Yeah, I see Texas sneaked into the number 1 spot for the rankings.
Yeah, because Kentucky almost beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Leroy, Georgia at Alabama. Who wins?
Georgia.
Georgia. Paul says Alabama. Gosh, this one's tough.
I feel like this week's going to be the week I win like 2 games. I feel like this is the week.
So that's what makes me kind of want to go with Alabama, just so I can potentially pick up the games there. But I'm going to agree with you and say Georgia. Paul says Alabama. Will give other people some guesses as well if they want to overrule. But instead, America is going with the home team of Alabama. Leroy, what is your first game of the week?
I know it's not going to be one that you wanted to hear about, but number 15 Louisville plays number 16 Notre Dame in South Bend.
There's my pick. Oh, we have a tie.
Oh, we have to go to the tiebreaker.
You know what? I'm going to, because of that, and I want to make the tiebreaker actually work, because the tiebreaker would be going to us. I'm going to change my pick to Alabama, because I want it to be a coin flip for America.
Okay.
I'm going to change my pick to Alabama, and I am going to go to the coin flip. Leroy, set it up. Which is which?
We've got our British coin. There's heads. Heads is who's the home team?
Alabama.
All right, so Alabama is heads, as you can see on Queen Elizabeth II. Tails is whatever the heck this is, that weird shield on the back of it. All right, so there we go. Are you ready? Oh, I dropped it. Loser.
Are you stoned already, Leroy?
I'm not. It is heads.
Which is
home team.
Alabama. Home team. So Alabama is America's pick. You said Louisville at Notre Dame. I'm taking Notre Dame.
L down.
L's down, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Who you got?
It's in South. I'll go Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is the pick there. Paul and America, if you have a pick, well, I find my last one here. I need an obscure one. We're having too much fun with these. Louisville, says America. They're going with the Cardinals and Jeff Brom there to pick them. Okay, let's go into a... you know what? I'll go with the other big game of the week. And I'm going to head to the NFL, Leroy. Big game happening in the NFL on Sunday Night Football. As it is, I'm trying to remember where this game is. The Buffalo Bills traveled to Baltimore.
It's in Baltimore.
So Bills at Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Leroy, who wins?
Bills.
Bills, says Leroy.
I really need Josh Allen to keep having good games.
I do too, but I think the Ravens win this game. And Ravens is America's pick as well. Alrighty, Leroy, what is your final pick here?
And I'm also going to stay in the NFL as the New Orleans Saints head to Atlanta at Sunday at noon to take on the Falcons.
Saints at the Falcons. Gosh. Since it's in Atlanta, I'll take the Falcons.
Which Derek Carr shows up. I'm going to go with the Saints.
Okay, let's see what Paul will pick here. If he picks the Falcons, we're going back to the coin toss.
Oh,
if not,
boy.
if he picks the Saints, then it's a Saints is the pick for America this week. So again, to recap the picks of the week, Grayson County hosts Bullitt Central. Leroy, you're picking the GC Cougs. Again, that tomorrow. The game is tomorrow night. Yep. You can watch it on the K105 YouTube channel. Leroy will not be on the call. Taylorville will host Mahomet Seymour. I'm picking Taylorville.
I would love to be on the call. Can you imagine? Imagine?
I would watch Friday night since I'd be open. Mahomet Seymour is America's pick. What's the right pick?
Mahomet.
Oh, so I'm trying to.
Listen, if the Taylorville Tornadoes pull out a win, I will be.
Okay. Can I change my pick?
Nope.
Leroy, you pick Kentucky. I was the only one going with the Bengals. You're the only one going with the Bears. You're the only one going with Georgia. You're the only one going with the Bills. America's the only one going with Louisville, and I'm the only one going with the Falcons for this week's picks of the week.
Boy, there's going to be some differences at the end of this week. Holy cow.
That's what makes this pick contest enjoyable. I won by too much last year, so maybe we'll keep it a little bit closer this year. Your surgery is Friday, right?
Yep.
Good luck.
Friday at 8:30 a.m. In the city of Pana. No, in Pana, Illinois. That's where I'm having it done. It's just a scope of my right shoulder and some
amputation, right?
Take it off. Yep, just cut it all. No, but they got me this shoulder immobilizer, and like they take this, and if you don't know, they take this like foam thing and they strap it to your side of and you just basically just rest your arm on top of it, and then they all sling it and kind of bandage it all up. But next time we talk, you'll see me wearing it, regardless of. So I'm supposed to wear, I think, for like 6 weeks straight. So you'll see it no matter what. But we're excited. I'm excited because listen, honestly, as much as we joke, I have been in a lot of pain. So I'm really, really excited to start healing and hopefully get a little bit better. I really wanted, and Sam, you know this, I really wanted to get this done before football season started. So I'm a little bit annoyed that I'm missing some football games as broadcasters. And again, the reason that we started this whole podcast was because as broadcasters, we enjoy our sport. We enjoy our game. And Sam, I know you'd be pretty frustrated if you missed some football games as well.
See, I'd be the dummy that would be there on pain meds.
I am telling you, I really don't think they'd allow me to. I'm telling you, like
when I was in high school, I had my wisdom teeth out on like a Friday, and that Saturday, I was going to do 24 hours later, I was going to do PA for a JV high school football game.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "Do you really want to do this?" I was like, "Yep." I was all in. You know, I'm supposed to do that, and it ended up getting canceled because of rain. And I remember my mom was like, "Yeah, that's probably for the best. That's probably for the best." There you go. Had to go to his son's U.S. Army boot camp graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
You know what that's like, right?
I do. Very much so, unfortunately. But yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited to start that road to healing, and hopefully my arm and my shoulder they'll be able to find what's going on.
I think he saw it, Paul, and just ignored it. Did you see his comment? Okay.
I did.
I was gonna say I thought he just ignored it. Which you've gotten good at. Just like ignoring my question about where the game was earlier.
It froze, I'm telling you. Like I purposely
it was really funny because the look you had on your face was like I was asking a dumb question. And I was like, I really didn't think it was that dumb of a question. Where is the game? But you were like, it's like, gosh, like, jerk. Jerk. But yeah, good luck on Friday. And Christy, if you're still watching, we need a video of Leroy on meds. Send it to me, and I will post it on the From the Pressbox Facebook page. I will post. Do we have your permission?
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Leroy, especially if he's saying stuff, Christy, please do it. But yeah, good luck. We're here for you if you need anything, and hopefully you'll be back next week. And if anything else, you just need to be as high as absolutely possible.
Listen. The Colorado could absolutely defeat the Denver Broncos. Come on. Shedeur Sanders would throw for 7 touchdowns.
Caleb Williams is going to win the MVP, right?
Like, Caleb Williams, champion.
No. I hope you saw Paul's comment this time, too.
I did. Thanks, Paul, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
So, I'll ask you really quick before we hang up. Who's the first coach? Which coach has the hottest seat right now?
In the NFL?
And why is it Jacksonville's?
Probably. It's probably Doug Peterson. Yeah. I don't think there's any question that it's Doug Peterson. And I think, the two defenders is right here. McCarthy. I think he's probably getting up there, but also the relationship with Jerry Jones is interesting. But yeah, the Jags, they get just throttled on Monday Night Football against the Bills.
Yeah.
Throttled.
And the thing is Trevor Lawrence looked bad. Like, he didn't look good. And I'm not saying nobody to throw to. I'm not saying that Trevor ever looked great. I'm just saying, like, something looks off in Jacksonville. I can't figure out what it is.
Jets looking good with Leroy's favorite quarterback of all time, old Aaron. Rodgers or Favre? You have to cheer for one. Who are you cheering for?
Ooh. I can't pick death?
No. Like, who do you hate more?
Favre. Honestly, I do, and I'll pick Rodgers over Favre. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm saying hate, Paul. Which one you hate the most? And you hate Favre more than Rodgers?
Favre. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hate them both with a passion.
Most overrated quarterback. If you could have one to be the Bears quarterback, though, who would you have taken?
Rodgers.
I
think Rodgers is a better quarterback than Favre.
Yeah, I think so.
I really do. And again, I'm telling you, I hate them both with a passion. But you can't deny what both of them have done on a football field.
Especially now. I don't think Brett Favre would be a very good quarterback. I think he'd be a little shaky. Too soon?
A little bit.
Well, hey. It happens. But on all seriousness, I hope Brett Favre is okay. This is Aaron just using a sports page to chat. Never too soon. Well, that's not very nice, Christy. That's not very nice at all. Good luck Friday, Leroy. And
thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
We will talk to you next week. Again, Christy, we need a video of Leroy high on whatever pain meds it is. Send it to me on Friday, and I will post it on our Facebook page. You know what? I'd even give you admin access if you'd want it to just go live.
Oh, my goodness.
That's fine with me, too. Like, we can make it happen. Message me on Friday if he is in, or just take his phone and just go live anyways. Just, like, we need that. I know I can speak for Paul and everybody that we need that for everyone to see. But good luck, Leroy. Do you have me on Facebook? Like, do you need my? Leroy can give you my phone number too.
Oh, I lost it. Sorry. Hate how that happens.
Just look on his phone, Christy. I'm sure you have his password. Right.
Checks it every night.
Yes, as he comes into the room after surgery. That's what we need. We need the video or something of him just rolling. And we'll play it next week on the show. Leroy, good luck. We'll see you next week. Hopefully next week.
Let's have a great weekend.